So, Robert Bennett of Clark Shoes fame asks, who is the biggest love rat, Mick Hucknall, Darren Day, or Amanda Holden? You know, I've never been afraid of commenting on the private lives of celebrities, but when you've achieved that much, as these guys have, I don't think it's right to pass comment. The gifts they have bestowed upon society and culture, I think they go above commenting about their private lives. I mean, Darren Day and Amanda Holden, you know what? Yeah, you know, they are who they are. Mick Hucknall was so inspired by seeing the Sex Pistols early on, in the same room as Ian Curtis and Morrissey and Marr and all these people. He was so inspired, he went on to create really quite, I would say, a milquetoast range of soul. But we all enjoyed it, didn't we? We all enjoyed it. So whatever he gets up to in his private life, as far as I'm concerned, he's more than made up for it. John Thurlow asks, why do you think Roger Johnson is considered to be the best central defender ever to play for the City? The thing is, I like to look at the question and then consider what's the subtext, what's the question really about. And what you're really asking for is help, isn't it, John? You're asking for help, someone to diagnose your ongoing mental and emotional issues. Well, ordinarily you'd have come to the right place, but I've let my qualifications lapse, so I can't diagnose you. All I know is that if you take this question to a recognised medical professional, they're going to sort you out, but don't be afraid. Let it all go. So Tommy Murphy asks, I would still like to know your favourite ever trip on the fun bus, Ryan. Do you like my impression of you there, Tom? So, I don't know, it's difficult to distinguish because the football, which would be the main point of differentiation between the trips, was always incidental to the journey, right? I mean, most of the fun was to be had going somewhere on the bus along the motorway, lights are shining, or coming back drunk, no lights are shining. Probably one of the two trips to Hull. They're the first one that comes to mind. Below Lawrence, jumping through that, it was an insane thing to do. Absolutely insane thing to do, to jump through that part of a climbing frame at full tilt after several dry sherries. And the last bus I came on before I left for Asia was Hull away, and that was a grand trip, wasn't it? Both Cardiff City and Hull got promoted that day. It was good. Tommy Murphy, I'll do my impression again, asks, who is better looking, John Thurlow or Peter Burnett? Like my impression again? I've been working on it. So, Tom, I've considered the question again, and I'm looking right now at some photos probably that you took to compare them. And you know, Burnett strides ahead with his elegant wearing of grey and the nice straight teeth, and then Thurlow pops up again with this nice smirk, doesn't he? I find it hard to separate them. I prefer to think of it as being we're all winners in this, because we've got to know them both. Humanity benefits, and I think it's unfair to pass perfection. So I shan't. I'll just say I feel very blessed to know such two fine-looking men. So James Hardin, the Bard of Chippenham, asks, what is my favourite Kellogg's character and why? Well, the obvious answer would be to say Tony the Tiger, because he's great. But of course, that would be forgetting Snap, Crackle and Pop. Now, wanting to add an extra layer to my answer to you, James, I've had a look at the Wikipedia page, and what I noticed mostly is the list of voice actors that have played each during the 70 odd years that these characters have been part of the public consciousness. And I can select a dream team here. So Snap was played for a long time by Chris Evans, which excited me until I realised it was ginger Chris Evans instead of bland, muscly Chris Evans. But either way, I think that's a pretty good start. Crackle was most famously played by none other than Keith Chegwin during one of his sober, or no, I don't think he was sober, but you know, he overcame whatever he was drinking to put in quite a great performance. Following that, for pop, the standout performer would be Eddie Dezzine. Eddie Dezzine played nerds as bit part characters in films such as Grease and Grease 2. So you already know which one he is from Grease, right? He's the guy with the glasses and all that. So put those three in a room together, what have you got? You've got magic. So snap, crackle and pop, obviously. The alliterative Shelley Bellamy asks, in a grammatically appropriate fashion, we can go to live music gigs again from tonight in Wales, so if you could go to any gig, who would you want to see and why? Now, I've taken the liberty of looking at the listings for the next few months, and it's grim reading. It's grim reading. I think there's Rufus Wainwright, one of my favourite ever voices. There's Nile Rodgers, who is just the most beautiful guitarist and writer of songs. And there's Brian Wilson, one of the final true originals still in circulation. It's probably him and Stevie Wonder and McCartney, and that's it for the real originals. There's a definite lack of anything exciting and working class, I would say. Certainly from the listings I saw in Cardiff. Definitely. So I would suggest, Shell, that you, your two girls, using Luke in some capacity, I'm not sure which, get together a little beat combo and have a go, because you can't do any worse, can you? But, you know, would you meet the criteria of working class? Just don't tell people you go to Waitrose, right? I won't tell anyone if you don't. But get to it. Get little Maddie and Ada on some instruments of their choice and have at it. I'll support you. Couple of humdingers from Mr. Gareth Baglow. What time is the next bus? How soon is now? I don't know. You've got me there. I thought I had an answer for everything, Gareth, and what you've done there is you've blown me away, haven't you? You called my bluff, and you've done it in quite spectacular fashion. Then he says, who are the greatest live band ever? I think you've done this without the question mark on purpose. I think you're making a statement rather than a question, aren't you? And I can respect that. Nearly had me for a second. Who are the greatest live band ever? Well, maybe at their pomp, they certainly were some of the best rock musicians that era. Were they ever more than the sum of their parts? Fleetingly, maybe. The one band, or the one artist I wish I'd seen live, the one is Prince. At any stage from about 84 till he died, everything that guy did was spectacular. Even the things that were bad. Oh, I've spent a lot of time in recent months looking at everything he did, and if anything, the guy's underrated. Honest to God. I'll maybe post some links if you're into that kind of thing. Daddy or chips? Chips. No question. Does Vincent tan in the Cardiff sun? Is that a trick question? I don't think Vincent tans. I don't think there's any Cardiff sun. I was very angry with Vincent for a long time. And I went to Malaysia and I purposely tried to snub everything that, that man had touched to get him to back down. And it was only a few short months after my refusing to stay in his 5-star hotels that I couldn't afford that he eventually reverted the Cardiff City Bluebirds back to blue. Coincidence? I don't know. You tell me. But I'm going to take credit. What's blue and stars grannies? Matt Hancock. Or Banana Man. Hey gang, sorry this one's a bit late. I was pretty tired after 8 treatments in 9 days. So I did my filming and then turned it off. I was also stumped for an answer to David Murphy's question of what is the definition of a salad. My ultimate conclusion is that the definition of a salad is whatever David Murphy didn't eat when he was chubby. I think that about covers it. So, 2 more days of treatment left for me, Monday and Tuesday. Who knows how I'm going to feel after that, but you'll be the first to find out when I record it on video and share it with you, right? Hope everyone's having a nice weekend, and we'll have an even better week to come. Cheers, everyone.